Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Huh? So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Hey, we want to shout out to our sponsors, Daytona Beach Comic Con. If you are a fan of comic books, if you're a fan of comic book conventions, and if you like meeting comic book creators and getting comics and comic-related stuff, then you need to make your plans to attend Daytona Beach Comic Con. This year's show is September 7th and 8th. Silverline will be there, so you should make your plans to be there too. We'll see you there. If you like comics and find yourself in the Orlando, Florida area, doesn't everyone come to Orlando at some point in time to see the House of Mouse? But when you're here, you need to make it a point to visit Coliseum of Comics, especially the one on East Colonial Drive. They carry Silverline Comics, even a limited edition Coliseum of Comics version of our comics. So, when you go, be sure to ask for Silverline Comics and tell them we sent you. OCD stands for Orlando Collector Deviants. OCD, Steve and Trish, they're a family of geeks who promote geek things, particularly those around the Orlando, Florida area. They're big supporters of Silverline, and we think you should be supporters of theirs too. Go give them some love. If you are an independent comic book maker and you need to get your independent comics made, you need to look no further than Kablam Digital Printing. They print our books, and they do a bang-up job. They're not only trusted by Silverline, but many, many independent comic book makers. Head on over to kablam.com and see for yourself just how easy it is to have your comic printed by them. And tell them Silverline sent you.
Hi, this is Tim TK, host of That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Join us at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night as we discuss pop culture and the joys of making comics.
Hi, I'm Barb Kilber, co-host of Silverline's Wednesday Wham. Join us each Wednesday nights as we discuss comics, literature, movies, and anything else that may catch our attention.
I'm Roland Mann, and I host Silverline's Silver Sunday. Join me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we make mine Silverline. Hello, everyone out there in internet land. I wasn't trying to be here. That's what I was trying to do right now. All right. It's got all these buttons to play with. How is everyone doing on this Sunday? Everyone, meaning Pete.
Good seeing you.
Yeah. So how you doing tonight, Pete?
I'm all right. Oh, I'm in a different room. So I've got a new setup.
Yeah.
By which I mean I put the laptop in the box.
And your internet, you're coming across a little bit laggy.
Is it?
A little bit.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah. That's strange. But I'm out by the internet box. But yes, I've had to come downstairs because the internet's playing up. So It might just be you in a minute.
Yeah, it could be, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. I've never had to monologue like this. Oh, look at this. Oven! What's up, Oven?
Oh, hi, Oven.
Oh, I got
to meet Oven last weekend.
You sure did. You got to meet Oven. I was so excited to see Oven make his way up to Daytona. Long way for Oven to go, but hopefully you didn't regret the trip up there, Oven, because you got to meet so many folks that you would not have normally gotten to meet. Look at this. Look at this. We are joined by Super Mario.
Yes. I'm gonna win.
Hi, Rumi.
What's going on, everybody?
Oh,
yeah.
How are you tonight, Quentin?
Doing all right. Yeah. What about y'all?
Sorry, guys, had to take care of Renee. Take care of Renee, Tommy. Send our best to her from us.
Indeed.
Give her some hugs from us.
Watch out, Tommy. If your wife ever finds out about Renee, you'll be in trouble.
Right. Hyper Potato says, howdy, y'all. What's up, Hyper? Good to see you here. Or not actually see you, but, see your name, your stuff. You know what I'm saying. So guys, we are down to the last 83. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, man, look at that. Hyper's always got my back. Look at that. Check that out. Thank you, Hyper. Like, subscribe, and send me comics.
Yeah. That's it. That's the spirit.
That's right. Oh, look at this. Bobby Westcoach says, hello, Big Dummy. What's up, Screw Loose? So I need to shout out to our sponsors. Big shout out to Daytona Beach Comic Con, which happened last weekend, and all three of us were there. And,
That's right.
And Owen was there, so Owen got to meet all of us who showed up, and that was a lot of fun. Thank you to Daytona Beach Comic Con. The dates are not set. We're ready to start promoting next year, but the dates aren't set yet. So Tom told me that just as soon as he gets the dates, he will let me know. But it will be in September. That much I know. So as you are making your 2023 convention plans, look for a weekend there that you plan on Daytona Beach Comic Con. So. Big shout out to Daytona Beach Comic Con. It was a lot of fun this year. Tommy said, "Yeah, what he said. Hello, big dummy." Then he says, "Going to put you on Facebook down at home being down in Mississippi. Thank you so much for always sharing that out, Screwless. We appreciate it." Owen said, "It was super fun to surprise you, and it was so great to meet everyone, especially the team's humble penciler." Yeah.
What's wrong? It's me and Quinn.
Well, it could be both of you.
He's got to be talking about me. We had lunch together.
Humble. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. He's got to be talking about me.
Got to be humble, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. So for those of you, let me finish the sponsors first. So shout out to Daytona Beach. Shout out to Coliseum of Comics. If you're in Orlando and you are looking for comic books, Coliseum of Comics is a place you should go. Go to East Colonial or on in Claremont. Actually, I saw on Facebook that they're opening another one not too far from me. So there may be a third one in my close vicinity. I'm not sure if it's the same owner, manager or not, but there looks like they're going to open up a third one. And I think the weird thing is I think that there's another. So what they're going to do is they're going to open up near UCF, and you guys saw, well, Quentin slept through it maybe, but UCF is a huge university here. They are the second largest on-campus student body in the United States. So I've lived in towns that have a smaller population than the on-campus population of UCF. So I think that's probably a pretty good location for a comic shop. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but it should be somewhere because the road was put in somewhere close to the university. So Coliseum of Comics, they've got all kind of Silverline books there. Tell them we sent you. Look for them. Quentin signed a bunch of books when he was there, and Tim TK signed a bunch of them. So you should be able to find a gaggle of books that are signed by a handful of creators at Coliseum of Comics. And they've also got the Coliseum of Comics logo on them. So those of you who are into getting every single edition of the books, that's one that's what one you got to get. But you're like, hey, I don't live in Orlando. How can I get it? Look, I know the guys who run Coliseum of Comics. If you absolutely want one of those, all you got to do is reach out to them and let them know that you want one.
Yeah, those guys are really awesome. Their store is amazingly clean, organized. Man, it's like going into like a chain store of some sort. It is. It's really good.
Of course, it is a chain store, but
well, I mean, it is. It's really nice.
Yes.
How many of them are there?
I want to say there are 13, but don't hold me to that number. There's about a dozen. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, in Orlando?
I had no idea.
No, not in Orlando. In central South Florida.
Christ.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's none here in Texas, so.
Yeah, there's one. We probably did when you were with Tommy. Did you pass the Mall of Millennia? Do you remember that sign at all, Pete?
The Mall of what?
Mall of Millennia, I think is a Millennium Mall. I don't know. It's down around that.
The Millennium Falcon.
If Tommy's watching, he can answer that question. I don't know. He just drove, and it all looks the same.
Yeah, pretty much.
You Americans, you all look the
He's gone
same.
the long way around everything, and I wouldn't have known.
So Oven's talking about that. I'm going to have to bug the Kissimmee store to get those books in. Yes, Oven, you are going to have to bug that store.
That's right, Oven. You do it.
There's one in Kissimmee, and of course, Oven lost his local store recently. They shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so he's going to have to make that one his home. But then there's one in the Millennium Mall, Mall of Millennia, something like that. I don't remember exactly what the name is. But there's one there. They're all over. I'm not sure exactly. I think they go all the way from Orlando to Tampa, which is about a 2 hour. Takes about 2 hours to get from one to the other. So, yeah. So and then also shout out to Orlando Collector Deviants who. Also got to meet all of the out of towners here. You guys finally got to meet Steve and Trish, who go around
in the flesh.
That's right, and they're moving, and why they haven't seen. So you fans of OCD, that's why we haven't been seeing shows. But Steve and Trish assured me that once they kind of get settled into the new house, they are going to get back to doing their shows. And so we'll start popping on.
I need to hurry. We need to start putting some pressure on them.
Right?
Hey, guys. Come on.
Yep. And then, of course, big shout out to Kablam. I don't have a. Oh, here we go. I'll give you this one. Big shout out to Kablam. If you're a comic creator and you need to have your comic printed, look no further than Kablam Digital Printing. They can print you 1 copies or 100 copies or 1,000 copies, whatever you want. They can do it. They are creators who also are printers. So,
and it's all free. It's all free.
I didn't say that. You're going to have to answer to Tommy. All right. So we have got right here, guys. You can see we've got 75 minutes to go. And we are at 2,971. So we are fully funded, but we are what is that? $29 away from the next stretch goal.
Man,
yeah. So we have already knocked out 2 stretch goals. Let's see if I can get to the stretch goals here. So the first stretch goal here are the bookmarks. So we're going to have Twilight Grove on one side, and then we'll have Sirens on the other side. That's the bookmarks, and then we already got this one. We got 2 digital comics. Look at this one, The Last Witchfinder. How about that? By Peter Clinton and Jose Fuentes. They were very generous to help us out with this. And then there's also The Mannequin. Both of these are digital copies. Everybody's all the tier levels are already going to get those. These are stretch goals that we have accomplished. And then, of course, our next stretch goal is 3,000. If we can get there, we don't have the image for it yet, but we're going to have the first of a kind Silverline travel sticker. This is one of those ideas that Jose tossed out. Man, that's a great idea. I really love this. So if we can make that, we're going to do us a Twilight Grim. Since Twilight Grim is ending, we're going to do us a Twilight Grim, maybe Hallowed Heights travel sticker to show that you have been to Hallowed Heights in Twilight Grim. And then we just added this stretch goal here for 30. If we can reach 3,250, I realize that's a lot to try to get in the next 75 minutes. But you guys can
can do it. I believe.
R.A. Jones has can I stretch this out and make this? I can. Okay, cool. So R.A. Jones has tossed this one in as a stretch goal as well. The Last Days of Poe by R.A. Jones. So yeah, look at this. Royal Airship says, "What's up, Royal?" He goes, "I love the travel sticker idea." I do too. I absolutely do.
What is it?
And what is it?
Yeah.
Travel stickers? What is a travel sticker?
So you guys remember, or you've seen people that have luggage, and when they go to a place, Paris and London, they get a sticker and they put on their luggage. It says, "Look, boom, Paris. I've been to Paris." Boom, Berlin. I've been to Berlin, right? So Jose tossed the idea out. Hey, why don't we do travel stickers for like the Silverline titles? And I'm like, what a great idea! Why not? I mean, what the heck? We could do like Twilight Grim. It's in Hallowed Heights where the story takes place. So boom, Twilight Grim travel sticker of Hallowed Heights. Now some of them like Cat and Mouse. That's just New Orleans, but still, that's kind of exciting. I thought. Royal also says the last Witchfinder was awesome. So
Thank you.
Potatoes is back and share the campaign. Everyone, yes, please do back and share. We are in the final minutes of this campaign, as you can see. 72 minutes to go now, and we are 29. I know the R.A. Jones tier is going to be a tough one to get. Man, now that one's for everybody, for all, because it's a digital book, so that would be for all the tier reward levels. So if we could get to that one, that would be for everybody. That'll be nice. The travel stickers is just for those who get the physical tiers. Obviously, we can't send you, if you back digitally, then we can't really send you a travel sticker because it's not digital. But we are well within range of those travel stickers. So I'm hoping over the course of the next 72 minutes, we can get us $29. So we'll keep that up there a little bit as we go through the night. So that's a shout out to all of our sponsors. Let's kind of go back to Daytona Beach Comic Con here. So Pete, we'll start with you. Pete, you traveled the furthest.
I did, I think.
Yeah, and I know that your arms were really tired when you got here from rowing the boat across the Atlantic.
It's a long way to go.
It is a long way to go. What were some of what would you say now, had you been to Florida before?
No, it's a lot more humid than I was expecting, and there was more rain.
More rain, yeah.
I didn't think it rained there at all. I thought it was just like a paradise, but no, you get rain.
Yeah, almost every day.
Every day.
Yeah,
every day.
Yeah,
and lightning and thunder.
Yeah, you get lightning and thunder in England too, right?
Yeah, we do. But you get it every day.
Yeah, yeah, we do
every now and then. Once in a, it rains. Certainly, we don't get thunder and lightning all the time.
Yeah, because it rains a lot in London, right?
Thunder and lightning every day.
It's kind of stormy every day. Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all just get rain, right? Not stormy kind of weather. Is that what you're saying?
Rain. It's not just a little bit of rain. It's so much rain.
It's
beating down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to dig up one of those. I forget what they're called. But we get a lot of those. It's when the fronts meet, and literally the front literally just boom, just drops water. It is so cool to see from a distance, because the water literally just goes down and hits and then just spreads out, like a big cloud. Really cool to see from a distance. I forget what that. I think they might just be called a water some kind of bomb, water bomb. I don't remember exactly. I saw it on the Weather Channel one time, and I'm like, that's really cool. Yeah, we get a lot of those. I mean, the thing is, we are kind of right at that perfect spot where, I guess it's because we're below the freeze line, where the cold fronts coming down from the north collide with the heat down here, and it just, every day it just generates rain. And of course, the morning time you wake up, there's a lot of fog, all that. What's it called? We all learned this in high school, or where the sun shines and the water evaporation. So all the evaporation, I couldn't think of the word. All the evaporation goes back up into the clouds, and then finally it gets so heavy, boom, it has to come back down. So yeah,
that's the history. The science lesson.
It's the what?
That's a science lesson for the day.
A science lesson for the
Yeah. And that, boys and girls, is how children are made.
Rain work.
Yeah. Okay, now Royal's getting real particular on us here. He goes stationary or occluded front. Yeah, the only
One of
time
those.
Yeah. Now, an occluded front sounds like something that happened during the Blitz,
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that, Royal. No, we do get rain down here pretty much every day. And it usually comes hard and fast and in the buckets, but it's not very long. 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and then boom, sun shining again.
But that aside, it was a wonderful time. The convention went very well. I had a really good time. I got to meet everybody. I got to do the shopping and.
How did you get everything back? I mean, did you save enough room to bring all the stuff you bought back, or what? Or did you send it via mail?
No. What I had to do is I had to take all my clothes out of my luggage. I put them in a plastic bag and just carried those onto the plane because my luggage was full up with comic book stuff. So I put it in my Disney bag, so it looked at least that I'd been shopping a lot in Disney, and I just put them under my chair on the plane, and no one knew that was all my clothes.
Well, I absolutely feel that, because that's what I did. I bought so much stuff, man. I bought so much stuff that I was like, you remember how long it was? I was like filling with my bags and stuff, trying to situate everything, so I could get everything back.
Your wife's not going to let you go to another convention.
She won't, because let me tell you, I came home with a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I had to sneak in half of it.
Well, I was going to ask you, has the package arrived yet?
Let me tell you what, I went to the mailbox, and it was in the mailbox when I got home.
Really?
And that never happens. That never happens.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I got in and I checked the mail like the day after I got in on a Wednesday morning, and it was there, and it had been there since the day before. I could not believe it. Like, that never happens.
It's almost like it beat you there.
Yeah.
Which would be weird, because you pretty much went almost straight from mailing it to the airplane.
That never happens. Never happens.
So you went to check the mailbox to make sure that you checked the mailbox.
Yeah,
right?
That's a testament to Kablam's. That's a testament to Kablam's ability to ship, because I sent everything from Kablam. Everybody, you hear that? And it was here waiting on me when I got home. That's if you order books, you just look for it to be in your mailbox like the next day.
So Royal Airship says, I came home with an amazing Rocketeer custom piece. Oh, cool. I'm assuming you got it from one of these guys.
Yes.
It was a custom piece. Got to find a frame for it, he says. So is that you, Quentin?
Yes,
do that
I did. Did the Rocketeer, and I have another Rocketeer to do, but I won't talk about that because it's a secret.
Sweet.
Oh.
So we'll talk about your. Let's talk about some of the. What was your So you got. None of us had ever met each other before in person, right? So talk about some of your. I already told Pete a little bit about this, right? Talk about some of your biggest surprises in meeting the Silverline crew. We'll talk about your biggest surprise. This surprised me the most, or this is kind of what I expected. I'll start. I was surprised that Pete's as tall as he is. I thought actually Pete was. I thought Pete would be shorter. I don't know why. I can't tell you. There's no rhyme or reason explanation for it. But because how tall are you, Pete? 6 foot? 6'1"?
Yeah, 6'1" on a good day.
Yeah, 6 foot 6'2" with heels, right?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think I was just expecting Pete to be a little bit shorter than he was. So when I met him, I was like, "Whoa, you're taller than I imagined," right? So that was for me a surprise.
Well, I don't have to say that because I'm 5'4", and yeah, I mean it was like normal, little people, big world for me. So
Well, I will say this. Another one of my surprises, Quentin, was how small you are, and I don't mean in height. I mean in weight, because you lost a lot of poundage.
Yes, I
from
did.
some of these other, these pictures that you first sent out. I was because you're a skinny guy now. You're a thin dude, and I was like, wow.
Yep, skinny guy. I fit my plane seat very easily this time around, and it's funny because this time last year I was much larger, like 110 pounds larger, and it was a totally different experience than what I had this time. I mean, it was pretty dang amazing. A lot of people don't know about that, but for those of you who don't know, I lost 110 pounds this past year from September to September. So I know I'm not sick or anything. So I'm my health just got in a bad way, and I had to do something about it, and that's what I did. And I got on it. I got little small kids and stuff, but it was so good, like the flight and everything. And also the security and stuff seemed to be a lot easier than it was last year. So there was that. I was really glad of that. But as far as other stuff that, there was a lot of people that I hear in the chat, in the Silverline secret chat, but I never really talked to them, like never really met them. I may have been on a show here or there with them, but
somebody like Brent.
Yeah, haven't really been able to sit down and actually chew the fat and see what they were about. And man, I was, it just confirmed everything I already knew. But I don't think there's a Silverline person that that I don't like. I was like, man, I like that guy. Well, I talked to Rory for a while. I talked to Brent. We were sitting all right there beside each other. And Scott Wakefield. And see, I never talked to those guys, just never in the same,
Right, because they're on Wednesday night and you're on
really
Tuesday.
Really cool. Yeah. And just talking to the people that I always talk to, it was just cool. It was just awesome to see everybody. And Dean was surprisingly, he was around my size. He's a little taller than me, but yeah, I was surprised with Pete whenever he opened the door, because I got in really late and he was in the hotel room, and he opened up the door, and I was like, it kind of took me back a little bit because I wasn't expecting him to be such a bulging, burly man.
Specimen of a human being.
Like, wait, am I in the right place here? Oh, it's like, okay, that's Pete.
You had to hear him speak, and then once you heard the accent, right? Okay,
yeah. Well, Pete. You coming in, or aren't you? Yeah.
Noted.
Now, were you guys the hotel rooms? Were you near Tim and Jeremy at all, or?
I think they were on. Joey? They were on like level 3 or something.
Oh, okay.
We were on 5.
I guess I just kind of made I don't know why, but just made the assumption you guys would be in rooms right beside. But I mean, there's no reason for that.
No.
You just imagined it, huh?
I didn't see them at all. It's like once we're at the hotel, like, no, I don't even know them.
I don't even think we saw them at breakfast.
Really?
Just in the evenings, and that was it. Everybody just disappeared, which,
I don't think they came down to breakfast.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Pete, but I was pretty, like, by the time we'd get back every day, I was pretty, like, from all of the buzzing and all the stimulation all day long and talking to folks and stuff, I was pretty beat.
Yeah.
I know we were watching something we were watching Dateline or something, and I totally just fell asleep. And I looked over there at Pete when I got up. Pete was asleep too. Shoot, it was.
Rock and roll. What can I say?
Yeah. High powered. Yeah.
You know,
Rock and roll.
you don't think about it in such a way, but you know, conventions can exhaust you. You know, it's not like you're out.
Absolutely.
It's not like you're out running a marathon or anything, but you stay busy and you stay, you know, kind of on your game
Yep.
for the entire you know, time. And of course, the show was what 10 to 5, I think, then 10 to 5, 10 to 4.
Yeah.
But we got there, you know, 30 minutes to an hour early, and then we you know, closed down. So, you know, you're on your game the whole time you're there.
Yeah.
And it can be, you know, draining and exhausting.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's a lot of nervous energy, especially if it's something that you're not used to doing.
Mm.
You know, because like, you know, you being a writer and us being artists, you know, this is and I've said it time and again, you know, this is a very solitary kind of work that you're involved in, and then, you know, to be able to get it out to the public, all of a sudden you have to switch gears and you have to
Let's
talk to the
people.
public, and so you have to get out of your element and you have to do things and speak, and it's really kind of, you know, sometimes it's a little hard to switch gears, and even when you do, it's very, very taxing to do that. But it's fun nonetheless. Like, I really enjoyed meeting Owen and putting a face with the name, and I really enjoyed that because you know, you always see his little chats popping up in the chat window, but that was neat. Yeah.
And I don't know if he's still hanging out with us here, but I absolutely 100% really appreciate the fact that, you know, he you know, I'm not going to get into his personal details, but it wasn't easy for him to get from where he is to the Daytona convention.
That's right.
And okay, hey, Owen said, it personally felt good blaming things on Jeremy. Haha, that man needs to work on that signature though. Oh, that's so true. He's an artist for good sakes, right? Yeah. So so yeah, did you guys get to? I know me and Tommy really ragged on Jeremy about his signature. Did y'all see Jeremy's signature at all?
I didn't actually see it. He was sitting right there beside me. I didn't never see it.
Oh my gosh, we need to have a discussion sometime about signatures.
You go to signature school, huh?
Yeah, so you know, I have Barry from Kablam. One of my, and I may get some of this wrong, but he said, you know, there's a difference between a signature and an autograph. Okay, a signature is when you go to the bank and sign legal papers. It's just whatever that is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
An autograph, you know, someone wants you to sign something. They need to be able to read your name on that. You know, because 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, 20 years down the road, whatever, they want to be able to pull it out and say, hey, look, I got this signed by this person. See, you can read it still. It may be, you know, certainly unique to the person, but you need to be able to read it. Jeremy's, you can't read. And Jeremy, if you're listening, yes, we're still talking about it. Yeah. So Jeremy's look like it's funny. So one of the things we said, he goes, I have a doctor's signature. I said, yeah, but you're not a doctor.
Yeah.
You're an artist.
You know, I did hear him say that. Yeah. I did hear him say that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, okay, that's you can you're not signing a legal document. You need to, your fans, right, need to be able to look at that and say, look, Jeremy signed that. But any of us can lay claim to his signature just because of the way it looks. Royal Airship says, I sign everything different every time. You'll get it down eventually. As long as you have the same kind of general characteristics of your signature, it's not going to matter. Everyone signs everything different every time. But Owen says, I agree with you. Do much to do and see, and you're not trying to miss anything, and there's generally not a lot of seats. Too much to do is what I agree with you. Too much to do and see, and you're not trying to miss anything, and there's generally not a lot of seats. Yeah. No, there's not. There's not a usually this is one of the reasons that if you go to many conventions, one of the reasons that it's hard to find a seat in where they sell all the snacks, because people just get tired and they go sit down and they're not eating. But if you go there to eat, you're like, dude, get up! You're not eating. I want to eat.
Yeah, and all the seating was outside in the cold weather.
Cold
Florida. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was hot. It was sultry out there.
Yes. Yeah, it was.
I had a great time. I did, however, the last day of the con, I was up from then, that little bit of time that I slept in the car riding around with you, Roland.
Yeah.
I was up from then all the way till Tuesday. 2 days.
That's
2
crazy, dude.
Straight days. I was awake. I tried to sleep on the plane. Couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. And,
I would have been so wiped after being up that long. I would have had to sleep on the plane.
Well, it's like I would catch a second wind, and then it would go away slowly, and then I would, drink a cup of coffee or something, and then it became, okay, I need to stay awake, because if I fall asleep now, I won't sleep tonight, and it just, so then it became one of those things. But 2 days, I don't remember the last time I stayed up 2 days, but it was worth it. Wow. It was great.
Yeah. I
had such a ball. It was such a ball just talking to people and being around people who love what I love.
Mm-hmm.
How often can you do stuff like that?
Right.
A lot of the times you go to work every day and you're around all kinds of different people and you like them and you have friendships and all that kind of stuff. But when you can get around people who like the stuff that you like and don't think you're weird because you like it, or
right.
And they're all on the same page with you, and they're that is so awesome to be able to do that.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. This is an intervention, more like it.
Yeah.
Royal Airship says, "Hey, I got a sweet war beard out of it."
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I know who that is.
So, all right, Pete, you about to say something?
Yeah. I was just going to ask something I was surprised by. Is how little Quentin charges for his work.
I gave most of my stuff away.
I had to stop and say, look, you can't be selling your stuff at this price. It's not enough.
Yep.
You're giving it away. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But he needs to work on his. We told him he's got to get his price list together and be sensible.
Yeah, I was doing exactly what I tell other people not to do.
Give it away.
Now, so correct me if I'm wrong, though, Quentin. You haven't done terribly many conventions, have you?
I've done a few. I do one. It's probably been about 3 years since I've done one. But other than that, I've done them sporadically. Like about every 2 years, I'll do one or something. It's just I'm just usually so busy, and a lot of times the cons that are here fall on the worst times for my work.
Birthdays, anniversaries, things like that.
Yeah. No possibility of getting away.
Yeah.
So I haven't been to a lot. I've been to a few, but haven't done a lot. I've set up at four cons since about 2008. But I've been to a few. So I got a little bit of experience, but at the same time, not nearly as much as some. So.
Yeah. And Pete, now you've done a pretty good handful of them, right?
Yeah.
Tommy says, Pete, how was staying at Tommy's house?
Man, I had to lock my door.
Yeah, and then he says, "You miss Gabby?"
I do. His dog's great.
Yeah,
his dog's very friendly. His wife is also very friendly. It's just Tommy you have to put up with.
Right? Yeah.
His wife. What about Renee? Did he introduce you to Renee?
Yeah. Oven says the poor cheesesteak guy almost got sent to the Emerald City to see the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, let's see. Any other surprises? Things that you're like, huh? I hope Tim's not listening.
I was really surprised when we went to Kablam. Man, that place is absolutely humongous, ginormous. That's a warehouse. I was not expecting such an elaborate. I mean, and there's people working everywhere. It's like going to the North Pole, man. I mean, they have a person for every position in that place. I mean, I was just amazed at how many people are actually at work to get your comics to you.
It's a cool operation, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
That's kind of become one of the. I don't know how it started, other than I'm trying to remember the first year somebody came in. They said, "Hey, I'd like to see Kablam," and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, we can do that." What we'll do is, on the Monday after, we'll go down there on your way to to the airport kind of thing, and then because of where it was, we're just, let's just grab lunch, quick and easy. Let's go to Del Taco. And then somehow we got to talking about it. And of course, Brent loves Del Taco. And then the next year it was kind of like, hey, we gotta go see Kablam and go to Del Taco. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. And now it seems like just an annual thing. We go to Kablam, we go see Del Taco, or we go eat at Del Taco.
That was another thing that I was really surprised about. I was expecting just another taco place, but that place was actually really good. That's the first time I'd ever eaten there before.
Yep. First time you'd eaten there too, Pete?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have a Del Taco.
Probably won't eat there again until the next time you're at Daytona.
Probably. I mean, yeah, that's true, actually,
yeah.
Well, guys, I actually have to call it early, but before I do, I want to share my screen just to show you. Just to give you a little blip. Share screen.
Yeah, please do. If it's what I think it is, we definitely want to see it. Oh, look at that! Nice
jam. All right.
Sweet.
What is that for?
I'm just piddling, I don't know. Just showing off. Just flexing, as they say, as the young guys say, flexing.
Yeah.
I've been trying to draw this figure since we started, and it's all going wrong. You just banged that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Royal says, I missed Del Taco. Yeah, you missed Del Taco, Royal. You did on Monday, dude.
You absolutely did.
Yep. Oh, look at this. Quentin Mark Spears says, nice stuff.
Thank you. And this I did finish this week. Let me see if I could show you. Is it coming in?
Look at all those toys over there. Oh my gosh.
Oh, look at your Galactus. That's awesome.
Yeah, I worked on that this week when I had a little bit of spare time. I've been meaning to do it in my new office.
Wow.
But anyway, I got to go on a get.
All right. Well, glad you popped in.
And I'm sorry I have to leave. It's wife night.
No.
She went to the store, so I came in to, mix it up with you two.
Yeah, well, you popped in while she was at the store, right?
Yeah, and she opened my door just a minute ago. I was like,
what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's when you say, oh, I'll be right there. Well, glad you stopped in, Quentin.
Yes. Hey, you come here. Come
here. Come say hi.
It's Captain America. Come on.
What's up? Hey, Captain America.
You're on TV. Get your fingers out of your nose. You're on TV.
No,
have some self-respect. All right. All right, guys. Y'all be good.
All right, Quentin. Have a good night. All right,
that was nice.
Back up there. Why does it put my... Look at that. Do you see my head on it? Okay, well, it disappeared now. Yeah, Mark said, hello, Cap. Yeah. So still $29 away from the 3,000. We got 44 minutes to go. What else, Pete? Anything any other observations? Not something that had to surprise you, but any other observations?
I was just going to say before he signed off, I was very impressed by all the different styles that Quentin can turn his hand to. because he showed me some of his work, these designs and stuff, and he was doing a commission of some Pokemon. I don't know anything about Pokemon, but yeah, he managed to turn it. I can't do that. I draw the way I draw, and someone says to me, "Oh, can you draw?" Someone's asked me for a Betty Boop. Now I know who Betty Boop is, but I don't draw in the Betty Boop style. So I really had to watch that.
You draw Betty Boop, but it's in the
of,
Peter Clinton style.
He just starts drawing and does it. So I was very impressed. So
that is cool.
There you go. What else? Yeah, everyone was really friendly. I mean, not just the Silverline people, but everyone at the convention seemed really friendly. And
yeah. So how would you, if you were going to say compare shows because I've never been in a show in England, obviously. If you were going to compare, say, a show comparatively the same size in England to Daytona, what would you say? And I'm not looking to trash either place, but what would you say? Oh, I noticed this is different than this, right? Or is there anything? Or are they all pretty much the same?
Well, the Daytona one is definitely a comic book convention.
Very much so.
It's all comic book. Then we one or two TV people there, but otherwise that whole room we were in was just comic books.
Yeah.
The whole hall.
It's nice, isn't it?
There's only one convention I go to here that is pure comic books. The rest seem to be, well,
media.
There's an artist alley, but it's all TV and film, cosplay, and then the comic book people are down over there, which is a shame. But that's the way conventions have gone. We know that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was nice. It was a proper comic book convention.
Yeah. And make no mistake, we have a lot of those media conventions over here too.
Yeah. I mean, the way they've gone, and that's what people like, and that's fine. But
I think that's one of the reasons that I personally like Daytona so much is because it's a Comic-Con. You know, you can, if you're shopping for comics, man, that's the place to be. You know.
Yeah, there were a lot of comics. I couldn't find the one I wanted, but there were a lot of comics.
I was going to say, were you able to snag any?
No, I got an action figure, a Fantastic Four action figure, but I was trying to find Journey into Mystery 126.
Oh, okay.
Which I have, but my brother wanted it because he doesn't have one. And no, I couldn't. The closest I got was 122 or 131. So no, oddly, I thought in that room with all those books, I thought I'll find it eventually. I did not.
Did you ask or did you just look?
Books there as well, but no, I didn't find it.
Yeah. Now when you were looking, did you actually ask the vendor or did you just look on your own?
No, I asked they thought the Journey to Mystery, and I asked a few if you had it, and they said, "Oh, just go check out those ones over there." Certainly not. It was, Yeah.
I of course, you've heard me say multiple times, I love the cheap boxes, but if I'm looking for something that wouldn't be in the cheap boxes, I will often ask the dealer, "Hey, do you think you have this?" Yeah.
I was impressed by all the amount of Silver Age books there were. Over here, it's hard to get the Silver Age ones. You're lucky if you get some, but some there, they almost had almost complete runs of stuff.
Yeah,
like Spider-Man from the early number 20 upwards. They're hard to get here.
Yeah, really?
Once you get into 50, 60, you can get them, but early really.
That's interesting.
I was like, I'd love to splash the money on those, but.
Yeah. We may have to do a couple more Kickstarters before you can do that, right?
Yeah.
It's funny because in my collections, Spider-Man and the Avengers were my two that I was going after, right? But I had to make a decision at one point in time. I said, okay, well, I can really only focus on one in order to try to finish to complete the collection, right? Because you can't fight a two-front war. Right.
No.
So I made the decision to go with the Avengers, and I almost have a complete run of the well, not anything recent, right? But of the first volume, I've almost got a complete run of the first volume of the Avengers. However, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has kind of made me mad now, because there are some that I will never be able to afford an Avengers #4 now, because it's the first appearance of Captain America. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 1 through 10, but I don't have #4, and I'll likely never get it just because it's out of my price range now. You know,
is #4 the one with it's Cap in the middle running out? I think I've got that.
What?
I think it's in the house somewhere.
Really? Oh my gosh!
It might be my brother's collection. I'll ask him if he has it.
Wow. Yeah, that's.
I'll see if he's willing to let it go. But yeah, I think I have that. I think of the other ones, I think he's got that.
Yeah, I've got a handful of reprints of that one, but yeah, I don't have the original Avengers #4.
Yeah, I think he's got that somewhere.
That would be nice. Hyper said, I actually printed business cards to give to sellers who often told me that they had war comics back at the shop but didn't bring any to the show. That's a good idea. Hyper, how often have they reached out to you then afterwards? I know a lot of times a dealer will tell you that, and they'll give you their card. It says, hey, I've got this back at the shop. Here's my card. So it is, I guess, is a curious question too, Hyper. Now, do you print out? Is it a card that you made specifically that says, "I will buy your war comics," or is this just yeah? Is this just your office card? Here's who I am. Yeah, that would be. I'd be curious to know that. Hyper said, he says, very little follow-up, only a few out of dozens. It was worth a try. Yeah, I mean, I think when you're looking for something, it's so funny, Hyper. I cannot see a war comic now. I cannot see a post about war comics now without thinking about you. I'm like, oh, I wonder if he knows this one. Or I wonder if he's seen that one, right? Yeah, every time I see a war comic, and I was never a huge war comic. Now, don't get me wrong. I like war comics, but it was kind of like war comics, Captain America. Okay, I'm buying Captain America, right? War comics, Spider-Man. I'm buying Spider-Man. But, I used to read the Losers and the Haunted Tank. Of course, as a Southerner, I love the fact that the Haunted Tank was, they were in a Stuart, and the Stuart tank, which of course, surname for Jeb Stuart, who is a Confederate cavalry officer. In case those of you who didn't know.
Did not.
I'll DM you a pic of the card. The card shows a picture of my son holding a Sergeant Rock, saying, "I collect war comics." Oh, cool. Yeah. Did you ever read any of those, Pete? Any war comics? Joe Kubert
I've got
stuff?
some losers. I've got a few losers, but usually it's because I really like the covers. I think there was some Joe Kubert covers, actually. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I remember at the school they've got some of Joe's original artwork on the walls, and there's some of his Sergeant Rock and some loser covers. And I remember looking at one thinking, I think I've got that book.
Really?
I've got that one. I think I've got that cover. And I do have it. Yeah, so it was usually the covers that really drew me. They weren't expensive or anything. They were just cool looking covers. That's usually what attracts me to books.
Yeah. Oh well, listen, I'm a huge believer. You and I've talked to covers before. I'm a huge believer in I mean, obviously, unless you already know what the book is, right? If you're like, okay, I'm a Spider-Man fan, I'm going to buy Spider-Man. If you don't know what it is, the cover is the thing that makes you go, oh, that looks cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick this up and look at it, right? And then you pick it up, right? So the cover's got you. It's done its job. You pick it up, and then you flip through it. The artwork has to sell you next, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna flip through the book just to look at the artwork, and you're gonna say, "Cool, I like this artwork." Now, a lot of people are gonna go back to the first page, and they're gonna kind of read that first page. Now, one of the things I really like about Denny O'Neil, one of the things he says in this book right here, if you haven't gotten it, it's the DC Comics Guide to Writing Comics, right? He talks about the hook on the first page, and I absolutely believe that is that you got to have some kind of hook. The reader's gonna read that first page, and you got to give them some kind of hook to make them go, "This sounds cool. I think I'll take it home." Yeah. And then they'll come back to buy the second issue if a couple of things they like the story. Right, it pulls them in, makes them go, oh, I gotta have the second issue. Or if they like the art well enough to say, I don't care what the story is, I'm gonna buy this for the art. Or if they like a combination of both, right? Hyper says favorite cover artist for y'all. Well, that's a good question. I like that question. Pete, what do you go first?
I don't know if I've got a favorite cover artist. I have favorite artist.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I've got a favorite cover artist. More...
I know I like a lot of.
I can't remember what the guy's. Is it Lucio Perillo? He does some paintings for like Red Sonja and Vampirella. He obviously just does covers. They're really impressive. But no, I tend to just. It's the artist, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I just go, that's the artist, that's his cover. So I've got my favourite artists.
Yeah.
Not saying that every cover they draw is brilliant, but there are covers I like. I don't like covers which just like a picture of someone's head. That doesn't really attract me to the book. I like to see something going on with the cover that may indicate the story inside the book, or at least there's something happening. It's not just a close, just a pick headshot.
So I shouldn't tell you what my plan for Trumps and the heads.
Trumps. Well, it could work with Trumps. I was trying to think of like cover ideas for like the trade. I was like, what do you do with the cover?
So one of the things I like, talking about heads that you're talking about, you were talking about big head, but I like some of the old Silver Age covers where they put there's an image going on, right? It's a team book that has one of the members in a battle against a villain, and then there's just these little floating heads on the side, kind of looking at it, like, oh no, but it's just a floating head, right? I love those. I think some of my favorite cover artists, I have to go back and look. I can't really speak to modern cover artists enough to really have an opinion. Obviously, I like what our team does. I know that I'm probably supposed to say that I love Alex Ross, but I'm not a big fan of the painted stuff. And I think Alex Ross is an incredible artist. Okay, so please don't mishear what I'm saying. But I'm just not. Those don't draw me. I see that, and I'm not immediately drawn to the cover because I'm like, oh, look, it's a painting. Bless you. I think I like the guys from the 70s. So I'm talking about people like Buscema. Love that guy's work. I'm bless you again. I'm visualizing some old Avengers covers that I like. John Romita did some great Spider-Man covers. You know who did some good covers that could kind of mimic a lot of styles. That was crap. He did a cover for me as an editor. I see his face. I just can't. His name is right there. His name is right there. I hit my tongue. I can't think of it. What was his name? He just recently died. Not Neil Adams.
Oh,
He wasn't a big name artist, but he could kind of ape a lot of different styles. And he did a lot of really good covers where he didn't also do the interior art. What the heck was his name? I'm going to have to Google that now. Royal Airship says, if you're interested in cover art, the Wednesday Wham crew has an ongoing critique of covers through the ages, at least 4 episodes now. Yeah, I've really enjoyed those cover critiques. Man, he did the Saul. I think he did some stuff for Saul Brodsky. What's the guy who worked with him? Rich Buckler, thank you, Hyper Potato. Man, I tell you, Hyper always has my back. Look at that. Hey, that's one guess, and he got it. Rich Buckler. How did you get that, Hyper? Out of Rich Buckler. Rich Buckler did some really nice covers in the 70s, in which he did not also do the interiors. Now, he could do interiors and did nice interiors, but he did a bunch of covers back in the day. Thank you, Hyper. Hyper says, I think Joe Kubert is my all-time favorite cover artist. Yeah, it's hard to beat a Kubert cover.
yeah.
Buckler was vastly underrated. I agree with you on that, Hyper. Buckler did he did a story for me. I'm trying to remember what it was. It might have been in that Genesis book that you and I swapped notes about earlier when I was talking about. I mentioned Jimmy Palmiotti. I gave Jimmy Palmiotti his first ever published pencil work. Now, I had to be very particular about that because Jimmy had been working as an inker for years already, but apparently no one would give him the opportunity as a penciler. And so I wrote a Widowmaker story for the Genesis little Genesis Zero that we did. And Palmiotti, Jimmy penciled that story. So, and I think Rich Buckler's story was in that. Got to work with Kurt Swan. Kurt Swan did Dinosaurs for Hire story for us. It's so funny because Dinosaurs for Hire. You never heard of Dinosaurs for Hire?
I have not. Sorry.
Next time I see them in the cheap boxes, Pete, I'll pick some up for you. I was the editor for Dinosaurs. I was the editor for Dinosaurs for Hire. Not for the whole run. There was a whole other volume one, and then I came in for the second run. The second run was in color. The first one was in black and white. But yeah, Kurt is so funny because he was already up in years by the time he had done that. And he drew we sent him a script and he drew the story and he completely left one of the characters out. so we're like, okay. So I talked with the writer who happened to be in the office. He said, don't worry about it. He goes, I'll revise my script. And so he went back through and kind of revised the script for it. It was kind of funny, but it was Kurt Swan, Kurt Swan drew one of the stories.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other cover artists that I just think, wow, that blows me away.
I know they do. They get these artists in just to do covers.
Yeah,
but that's I know people. I'm guessing there are people who pick up the book just because that guy's or that woman has done the cover.
Yeah,
I'm not that person. I pick up the books when I like the character and who's writing and drawing the book. Not like, but then there's a whole market, isn't there, for various covers, isn't it?
Yes, there is. Yeah.
Yeah,
I would pick up the book because of the artist on the interiors. It's like, oh, I like this artist, and I'm going to pick it up and give it a read. Yeah. What is our topic tonight?
I don't know. What was that topic?
Can you be more than one? Pro, fan, and a hobbyist. So I gotta agree with Hyper right here. He says that Peter Clinton guy sure does some great covers. I
He does.
agree, Hyper. He does.
He's
Yeah.
quite
And in
determined.
fact, Pete's real close to wrapping up the second issue of Silverline Team Up, and then he's going to do a handful of covers before jumping on to the next one.
I tell you this. I drew a page today for Silverline Team Up, and in the background, because we were drawing a pawn shop, right? We're drawing into a pawn shop, and I thought, what would be cool if they had like an old like movie poster on the wall, but instead of a movie poster, it's my cat and mouse cover. So,
cool.
So I've dropped in my cat and mouse cover. So when I finish it, it's up. We just got to put the cat and mouse poster in its frame. So I've drawn the frame for it.
Very cool. You know, I like it when that happens in comic books, though. You know,
yeah.
I dig it when things.
What film can I make? I was like, no, that's not the film. I can't take the comic book cover.
Yeah.
Or any other cover. You can take any cover. I don't mind.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that's those.
By the way, no more interior shots of pawn shops, okay?
Why's that?
I've had to draw guitars, guns, knives. I drew a bicycle because Tommy loves his bikes. I drew a bicycle, and I've just like frames on the wall. Like, you can drop things into it. But, yeah, that's taken a long time.
So you want me to go back to fire engines?
No more fire engines. We're slowly trimming down the things that we're going to draw in this. By book 4, we're just going to have characters on a page, and that's it.
It's going to be anime, right? It's going to be like manga.
Yeah. We're not even going to be drawing the guns. If they have guns, they're just going to go pure with their fingers.
Pew, pew.
Laser guns.
Pew, pew. Everybody pointing like this, right? Out of their fingers. I agree with this. Hyper Potato says that's a nice touch. We all need a cat and mouse poster on our wall.
Yeah.
I think you're not wrong. One of the things I've been trying to do in, I say spare time like I have any. I've been trying to. Oh, I think I printed some out. I have been working on the omnibus for the first volume of Cat and Mouse, and I got a couple of different cover. No, I don't guess I did. I thought I did, but I got a couple different covers that I'm leaning towards. I may do. I can't decide whether, because it's the Cat and Mouse omnibus, I can't decide whether I want to do a Kickstarter exclusive for it, because it's only going to be. It won't be the thing that we're kickstarting. Excuse me, it'll be an extra thing. So I don't think I'm going to make it have an exclusive cover. But yeah. One of the things Quentin didn't mention, part of the reason he's doing Demon is he is actually wrapping up the final issue of Cat and Mouse number 4. So he's going to be doing about the last half of it. So Wubba just, which I thought Wubba might join us tonight, but Wubba's got Wubba's personal life has been, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind me saying it, bit of a mess the last couple of months. So hopefully he's pretty close to resolving all that, and he's gonna be out Quentin's way. We got 19 minutes left, Pete, and we're still looking for $29.
Oh,
yeah, to reach that $3,000 the $3,000 mark to reach that.
Wait, I haven't seen.
What?
I haven't seen the finished cover for the Scary Book. Did we get that?
We did. Let me just scroll down here. I think it's on the page.
In the color version.
Let's see here. Right there it is.
Oh, it's on there. So I looked the other day. It wasn't there. I was like, oh.
Yep. There it is right here. So stop scrolling there. It's not on to scroll. So yeah. And the last I checked. What's that?
Have you got one you could send me so I can put it on my social?
I will.
Late now, we're finishing in a minute, but
Yeah.
That'd be nice to have a look.
Yeah, these were all gone. Let's see. We still had some original art. Still, the Butler pieces are still Butler and Flormonti. And then I think
Who?
there was still some. Say again.
Who?
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 Yeah, that guy.
That guy.
And then there's some of the other covers, the Aaron covers, the Jose inks over your Scary Book cover.
Yeah.
Still left. So now they may be, if you're going there to look, if it's gone, don't hold me to it because I'm not real sure. Hyper says, Wabba! That's right. And Royal, what comes with the 3K goal again? All right, so Royal, the 3K is, all right, the right here. It's the Silverline travel sticker, and we don't have that one designed yet, but that's going to be because Twilight Grim is this is the final issue of Twilight Grim. We're going to make it a Hallowed Heights, which if you are following Twilight Grim, you know that's where the story takes place in Hallowed Heights. So we're going to have a Hallowed Heights travel sticker as the a stretch goal for everyone who backs at a physical level, physical tier. So if you're a digital backer and you're like, man, I want one of those, that's pretty cool. All you got to do is change that pledge of yours to a physical tier, and then you'll be in line to get this if we can get the $29 more in the next 16 minutes. So Pete, while we're doing this, we should probably talk about our topic just a little bit. So the topic is, can you be more than one? Can you be a pro, a fan, and a hobbyist? So since we're particularly in comics,
let's which one is what? Because
so go ahead.
Well, I think it's to work in this industry, you have to be a fan of it. At the very, you know, you don't stumble into comics. I don't think. Just saying, oh, I like art. I draw comics. I think you have to love. I think you have to love comics. Go. I really want to be poor the rest of my life.
Right.
I'm going to be a comic book artist. So yes, I'm a massive fan. I buy comics. I read comics. I can't read as many comics as I used to. I don't have the time. That's the one thing that suffers, I think, the most. What's a hobbyist?
So a hobbyist is so defined, and I'm not sure I like this definition, but I think defined, a hobbyist is someone that basically does it as a hobby. Okay, it's like, I like comics. I'm not trying to be a professional. I don't want to be a professional. I like making them. So this is my hobby. I don't knit. I don't put puzzles together. I make comic books. I'm a hobbyist.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Hyper says, I really like knowing when a pro is also a fan and collector. For example, Michael Fife of Copra loves to go back issue diving. So I guess that I would ask you then, Hyper, because I know that you've seen some of the pictures. I mean, you've heard us on here. Does that help you? Listen, you're a fan, and man, we're so appreciative of everything you do. But my question to you would be, does that help for you with us knowing that we also like to go and buy comics at all? I mean, you've probably seen the pictures of me rifling through the back issues.
That's made me laugh. Part of the convention, we all looked up and there's Rogan elbow deep in a box. Someone's like, there he goes. There he goes.
Yeah, I can't resist those. The thing about it is, those cheap boxes, you can find so many gems in there that people just don't care about anymore. And hey, we made 3,000! Woohoo! Look at this, Pete. Yeah. With 3,000 exactly, with 13 minutes left to go. Whoever got us to that last $29, thank you very much. for getting us to 3,000. Now we're going to have us our first travel sticker. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, Hyper says it does. It makes me feel a kinship with pros when I know they love this stuff too. Yeah, and I agree with you, Pete, on the whole being a fan first is I was a fan first as well. I'm still a fan. I was a fan. Matter of fact, I read some plug my buddy. I read a couple of Cosmic Times comics today. So I'm going to be sending Martin some my thoughts on these Cosmic Times books. I enjoyed them. Yeah, I'm still a fan as well. I wish that I had, as Pete mentioned, I'm going to be a comic creator, so I'm going to be poor the rest of my life. I wish I had more money to buy on to spend on comics. I still, I still back Kickstarters and stuff. So it's not like I don't buy any. So I don't mishear what I'm saying. But I wish I had more money to spend on getting comics. I like discovering new stuff too. I think that's one of the reasons I like the back issue bin. I mean the cheap box bin, because there'll be things in there. Like I only recently discovered Hyper. You may remember this one. I don't know if it's a little bit before your time, but I picked up a copy of Roach Meal. You ever heard of Roach Meal, Pete? No,
I don't think so.
It was a Dark Horse book. I was aware of it. Like you could have said, "Hey, you ever heard of Roach Meal?" And I would have said, "Yeah, I've heard of Roach Meal." I had never read it, but I saw a collected volume for, I want to say, a buck. So it was, I don't know, 60 pages. It was $1. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? This is an old Dark Horse book from the 80s. I'm going to buy this because I've heard of Roach Meal, but I never read it. I took it home, I read it, and I'm like, wow, this was really good. Why was I not reading this in the 1980s, right? Why did I not read this? And I like this. That's the kind of thing that I enjoy doing. Like I said, because for me, that was just Roach Meal. I only just, read that a couple of weeks ago. So I like doing that. And you can see I'm working on, let's see if I can reach it here. I'm still working on my run of there's a couple things. I'm working on my run of here you go, Hyper. I'm working on my run. Whoops, that's the wrong book on the front. Working on my run of Commandees, right?
Yeah.
Bunch of Commandees here. Yeah. I do have the Jack Kirby. I forget what they call them. It's those big treasury that shows you the art. Oh, Pete, I should have brought that, man. I showed it to you. But on the same regard, I'm working on my here you go. I just finished my Destroyer Duck run. I just finished that. Where is it at? I thought they were down there. Well, I can't show you the one I was going to show you. Working on my Justice Machine run because I knew what it was, but I didn't buy them back in the day. So yeah. So I think you can be a. So what about a pro and a hobbyist? You think you can be a pro and a hobbyist, or
no? I think you're one or the other, aren't you? If you go pro, you go pro. I do it for the money.
Yeah.
I mean, I would do it if I wasn't getting paid for it, but I guess when a hobbyist is someone who's doing it for free and just doing it in their spare time. I have to do it in my spare time, sure, but no, I'm serious about it, and I consider it to be my career.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Yeah,
I don't know where
it is. Because what does, I think you have to consider, because I always, I was kind of always taught you become a pro the first time you get money for doing the work.
Yeah, I guess,
you do the work, and the first time you get money, you're then officially a pro. Doesn't matter how much money it is, but the first time you get paid to do that work, you become a pro. Now, obviously there are levels of pro. you know. But yeah, so I think you can absolutely be a fan and a pro. You can be a fan and a hobbyist, but I'm not sure you can be a pro and a hobbyist. I think those are kind of conflicting ideas.
Yeah.
Because if you're a hobbyist, you kind of really just don't care. You know, it's like,
I don't think you can be a hobbyist and work for someone. So I work for you.
Yeah.
I don't think you can be a hobbyist and do that. If you're working with someone, you've taken a job, therefore you're professional. Hobbyists might make their own stuff in their own spare time. And
I like to think of it more like I realize it's perspective, but I like to think of it more as that we're working together. You and I and Tommy and Roberta.
Sure, but I'm drawing Silverline's books. I'm not drawing.
Yeah.
Not drawing my books.
No. I totally get it.
So it's like the same way. If I work for Marvel, I'd be drawing Marvel books.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah, no, I consider that to be professional. Whilst we're all friends and we'll get on, it's still a profession.
Yeah.
I consider myself to be professional. I might not be good enough to be professional in some people's eyes. Who knows?
Well, and again, I do think there are those kind of levels of professional. You know, you've got you've got the guys who are, you know, got a regular gig at Marvel DC. You know,
there are pros who don't act professionally.
Yeah, so, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, that's something else.
Hyper says Justice Machine was cool. I like the early magazine-sized issues best. Yeah, you know, again, Justice Machine was one of those things I knew, I saw. I had some friends read, but it was just I never bought them. And so now that now that I don't buy kind of Marvel and DC like I used to buy them, I spend a lot of, you know, my time, energy, and money in that way. And Justice Machine is something you can find often in cheap boxes. So that's what I've only read a couple of them because I'm terrible when it gets. This is where I'm still the fan and collector, right? It's like I can read issue 1 and 2, but I don't have number 3, so I can't read issue 4, 5, and 6 yet, right? I've got to wait until I find number 3 before I can read 4, 5, and 6, right? Even though I own those, I don't own number 3 yet. Hyper says, like, subscribe, share, and back. Do all the things, please. Yes, Hyper, thank you so very much. Please do that. Like and subscribe. And if you happen to be listening to us on LinkedIn, welcome. We're new to LinkedIn. We've only been on LinkedIn now a couple of weeks, but it's kind of exciting to add the platform there. And there may be more changes coming to where we stream here in a couple of weeks. I've been approached by somebody to possibly expand our network, so we're kind of talking. To see how that might go. So I'm kind of excited about that because you know, one of the things it could hopefully help us do is you know, get more people aware of what we're doing. Royals Airship says, could you be a pro and still be a hobbyist for another genre? Okay, so first thing we got to do, Royal, is probably correct your term as genre. You probably mean another format because genre is the type, right? So Steam Patriots would be steampunk. That's a genre. Silverline Team Up would be superhero. That's a genre. They're still both comic books. So I'm going to take your question to mean another format. So could you be a pro in one format and a hobbyist in another format?
Yeah, I mean, I could be a hobbyist painter.
Yeah.
Because I don't do that for anyone else but myself. If I did that, I don't do that. I can't paint. But if I did decide I'm going to start to do some painting, that would just be for me, really.
Yeah.
I might show some people, but yeah.
You know,
book illustration. I think book illustration. Even if I was to illustrate a children's book, I would still say no. Well, I'm a professional illustrator, so
right. But that's
I expect
pretty. I think a children's book illustration is pretty closely related to comic illustrations.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
they're not the
Yeah.
same, but you can still be illustrator. But yeah, I think painter would be one. The thing I would say, Royal, is that you got to be careful when you're talking about a hobbyist. For me, one of the first things that comes to mind when you're talking about something like prose is fan fiction. And I will tell you this. Fan fiction is not really smiled upon professionally within the professional writing community. In fact, a lot of editors assume that if you're writing and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I mean, I have an opinion, but a lot of editors will assume, oh, if you're writing fan fiction, that you don't have any ideas of your own. And so yeah, they're gonna, a lot of them are gonna tell you to not do fan fiction. In fact, John Jackson Miller, who was with he and I were on a panel a few years ago, and he was with the Wednesday Wham a few weeks ago, and one of the things he said at this panel was that he is because he's a Star Wars writer. He is. I know. I hope Tommy wasn't listening. He is contractually obligated to never read any Star Wars fan fiction. It's in his contract. He has agreed not to do it. And some of that is because, there's so much fan fiction of stuff like Star Wars out there that they're like, hey, we don't want you to read this, and then have a hobbyist, a fan fiction writer, say, oh, you stole my idea,
Yeah.
So they're contractually obligated for that. So I would say you could certainly be a hobbyist, but stay away from fan fiction. I hope there are no fan fiction writers out there listening to me right now, because they're getting mad. I really, really made a student of mine mad one time, and I said, stop. If you're gonna write, she was writing fan fiction of something, I don't remember what it was. I said, if you're gonna write fan fiction, don't tell anybody. Get a pseudonym or something, but take it off of your resume, because I will say I do share that opinion. Is like, if you're writing fan fiction, that just means you don't have any ideas of your own. Be inspired by it. That's great. Be inspired by Star Wars or Twilight or whatever, but I
would say if you're doing fan fiction, you're a hobbyist.
Yes.
Serious about creating anything new, just doing it for fun. You're taking something else, or I don't want the story to end, so I'm just gonna. I mean, ultimately, even writing for Batman and Spider-Man is a sort of fan fiction, because it's created by someone else, and you're just continuing the story. But you
except that, yeah, I've heard that argument before. My contention to that would be, it's not really fan fiction, because it becomes canon when you write it, because you are officially sanctioned by the people who own it, right?
Yeah.
So it's not fan fiction, because when you're getting paid by the people to do it, right? Okay, down to 15 seconds. Looks like we're gonna hold right at 3,000. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Watch a little fireworks go off. Here we go. Look at them going off there. Woo, woo, woo. All right. All right. So thank you so much to all of you who backed this project. We think you're going to, how do I do that? I think you're going to love this stuff. Obviously, Twilight Grim, you're going to see the resolution of the story. Kalis is a brand new #1, starting a new arc, but it's going to just build upon what you read in the first one. Sirens, this is the second issue, and of course Scary Book is the first of 4. So I'm happy to say, let me see here, Sirens #3 is completely colored. Scary Book #2 is about half colored. So yeah, so thank you all again so very much for supporting these books. Well, Pete, My clock reads 9:31.
Right.
Yeah, that means time. Any final thoughts?
I'm not a hobbyist.
Yeah, yeah. Here's my thought about that. I don't get paid like a quote unquote professional, but I put in a lot of hours to call myself a hobbyist.
That's right. I spend too much time doing this and ignoring family and friends to say I'm just doing this for hobbies. Yeah.
Right. Yep. It's not like I'm knitting. I'm not knitting while I'm watching TV. I spend a lot of hours doing this, so I'm not a hobbyist. Yeah.
I'm hobbyist to spend the amount of time I've just spent drawing an interior porn. Nah, don't worry about
it. Okay, well, I guess let's see here. Let me. I can tell you what our gang is going to be talking about this week. Next, let's see, Tuesday. Tuesday is National Comic Book Day. Is that the case? It looks like that's the title of the stream for Tuesday, called National Comic Book Day. So I don't know if they're just going to be talking about National Comic Book Day or whether it is National Comic Book Day. I'd have to look that one up. And then Wednesday, the Whammers are going to be talking about street cred, superheroes without superpowers. And we're going to have a couple of, I know we can talk about a couple of Silverline characters. Cat and Mouse certainly fit the bill. Miss Fury fits the bill, right? They don't have superpowers, but they are superheroes, right? Batman would fit the bill. Well, we will be back next week with newly minted entertainment lawyer JC Barton. You might recall the last time we had JC on here, he was getting ready to take his bar. He is now newly minted as an attorney, and so he's an entertainment attorney. What's that?
So watch what you say. Is what you say.
Watch what you say next week for sure, right? Yeah, because he'll be on, and he said, and I remember talking to him off of the stream. He said, I have to be careful what I answer when I'm not an attorney, because it can't come across like I can't give you legal advice because I'm not an attorney, and I could get in trouble if any of that happens. He said, but once I become an attorney, I can give you legal advice. So Hyper says, congratulations on another successful campaign. Thank you, Hyper. You realize this is number 20. This is campaign number 20, and we've already got our date set for our next campaign, which will be in November. Hyper, I know those matter to you, so I'm going to say them right here on the stream. If I can find the schedule real quick, it's going to be November 3rd through the 20th, and I think I know the books already, but I'm going to hold off on that because I'm not 100% certain. But it's going to be if the books that I think are going to make it going to be a fun one. So I am, not that this one wasn't fun, but it's going to be fun. They're all fun, but yeah, looking forward to a couple of these. I'll give you a hint. I think one of them is going to be Trump's number 4. So
Tommy, hear that?
Yep. So I am excited about that. So oh no, Pete, my wristband is in my
I've got mine.
Okay, good. So so there you go. So you know what we like to say here as we let me get to the thing here. Where's the brand? So we will see you next week, and until then, remember to make mine Silverline. All right. Good night, everyone.
Hi, my name is Sergio Cariello, and make mine Silverline.